Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the BGC stream where we've got another match tonight between the Beans, and they're going up against Northwood Blue, who we'll get to talking a little bit. Of course, Daniel is still with us. Unfortunate loss that we just witnessed, but hopefully the Beans can bounce back. But they're going up against a kind of difficult opponent to bounce back from.
It's unfortunate when you get reverse swept, especially in the way that Game 5 ended. But I think a lot to learn there for OSU. A lot of holes to fill, a lot of things to work on. We'll see what they talked about in the break, what they bring here that's new and fresh against Northwood. Hopefully they can put up a bit of a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the reason why I was like, oh well, it might be a little difficult to bounce back against this team is because this team is the Northwood A-team roster. This is the Northwood team that goes around and wins everything, that challenges versus Akron to win everything, and that's this roster, right? Or the newest iteration of this roster. Buddy Hawk and Pirates are playing in the league for this summer. And this is the Beans' next opportunity to crack at them. They've gone toe-to-toe in a lot of cases versus this team, and never really been able to take a series off of a Northwood roster. So we'll have to see if they can do it here as we get underway for our second series of the night. Have to see if it comes out here as good for either team. I will also comment here at the Northwood Blue, riding a little bit of momentum into this series. They just beat that team up north in 3-1 fashion in the series. I didn't get a chance to really look at the individual game scores, but certainly coming off of that with a little bit more momentum into this series, which could provide a little bit more useful compared to what the Beans just encountered.
Yeah, they were really showing it coming out of the break. They were right up on the attack immediately. OSU coming back a little bit now. The Beans trying to find a few shots on goal. Seems like they're trading blows here a little bit. Nothing's found its way home yet. But it seems like both teams are getting their opportunities. Both teams are biding their time. I'm curious to see if this is more of a shootout or more of a slow, methodical type game.
To me right now, it's looking very fast-paced. I mean, you already see Hawk there on the ball trying to challenge the Ohio State team to put something up on the goal line, to put something in order to block these balls from the net. It's just very back and forth. Pirates there, unfortunately, is going to let one pass as Master's going to get one from the backside of the net here. And the Beans are going to get an early one, a little bit lucky on a rare mistake from a Northwood player.
Yeah, just a misplay there, and Beans will take that. 8 shots already, 5 for Northwood so far, only a minute 20 in. As you were saying, you're right, it is very fast-paced so far, and it's a little unfitting that the first goal comes off a mistake, and it's just kind of a slow, arcing dribbler right into the net. But OSU will be very happy to have a lead here. They can kind of settle down, play the way they want this game to go now.
Well, yeah, I don't know if, playing it safe is the way you would want to go against a Northwood team, who is going to be all up in your face, is going to try to capitalize on your every mistake and go from there. So, yeah, 1-goal lead, of course, is nice. If it ends this way, you win the game. But at the same time, if you're the Buckeye roster, you probably don't want to rest on your laurels here. We'll have to see if that's indeed the case, as it looks like they're starting to go up a little bit on the offensive already. And you see the team pressure numbers coming in there, and the Beans have certainly had the possession, had their fair share of opportunities on the opponent's side of the field. So we'll have to see if they can continue trying to capitalize on those, or, of course, if Northwood's going to start to swing a little bit more in their favor.
Yeah, one thing I really just want to see here from Beans is just making sure that they're keeping up on their rotations, not letting Northwood get a goal similar to the way they scored their first one, I think if OSU can just keep, not making mistakes, then they will be fine. At least I'd like to think so. Obviously, this Northwood roster is very talented, as you've been saying. But, not that our roster isn't,
Very true. I mean, obviously, the roster has been a CRL team for quite a while. One of the things we like to boast about around here. So, perhaps they've got it in them. And, the other thing that's interesting, I think always, is to watch exactly how series develop. Of course, we've seen a lot of neutral back and forth here so far, a lot of fast pace between these two squads. We'll have to see if that starts to change over the course of this, if one team starts to pull away a little bit more, or, if one team tries to start slowing down, going for plays like this. Master is going to be able to find the 50 there, going to just roll right in front of his car and allow this one to continue rolling on forward. So Master, the beneficiary of 2 lucky breaks on behalf of the Beanz with 90 seconds to play.
Yeah, I think this series might just come down to mistakes. Which team is making more of them might just lose. Obviously, Northwood here losing a 50 on that last goal, and then just the missed save on the first one. OSU hasn't really, gotten a lot of fancy goals. They've really just gotten pretty lucky, and then an own goal from Northwood there. Maybe falling apart a little bit. Maybe it's just time to regroup, get ready for game 2 for Northwood.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's probably going to be a GG go next. A little bit unfortunate there on the bounces for Northwood. And, in that respect, you really have to feel for him. But, again, if you're the Beanz, like, they're going to be like, all right, we take 3 goals. There's another shot that was so close to going in. Going to hit both bars and actually remain out. Very nice shot there. But unfortunately does not quite find the mark. But again, you're going to have to expect opportunities like that from Northwood to start to continue, to be more prevalent as this series starts to continue, as they start to find the openings, as they start to find the gaps in the Beanz defense.
I think that's kind of what they're doing right now. They're trying to feel out this OSU Beanz defense. I think it may help a little bit that OSU did just come off against the St. Clair team that's maybe not as talented necessarily as this Northwood team, but they're both very aggressive teams, so they're used to maybe this more aggressive playing counterattack out offense. And they did get a bit lucky with the first 2 goals, but I think that this OSU team, they've shown a lot of things really good in this game. They haven't made any mistakes. And with the amount of shots that happened in this game as OSU secures the 3-0 victory, with the amount of shots, pure just shot attempts that happened in that game, I think mistakes is what it's going to come down to, is who can minimize them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, minimizing those mistakes, vitally important at this level, because both these teams on either side of the pitch, on either side of the ball, are going to be good enough to capitalize off of those mistakes, whether that's double commits, whether that's, accidental touches or things like that, slight miscommunications here or there, breaks in that is certainly a problem. But, again, it's going to be about how we start to see these things come together, because, game 1, always great. But getting off to a game 1 lead in a set is like getting off to a 1-goal lead in a game. All right. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Got a game, got a goal, but there's got to be more to come after that in order for things to progress here in the set. So we'll see if the Beanz still have it in the tank to continue marching on forward here and are able to create opportunities for their own, and try to force some of these errors from Northwood. You already see a little bit of that cheesiness happening early on here as they start to try to shove one towards the Northwood goal, but of course that one's going to get sent away. And we'll have to see exactly, how this one continues to progress, because Northwood is certainly trying to throw out all the stops now.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said about, having a 1-game lead really doesn't mean a lot. Obviously, having a 2-game lead doesn't necessarily mean a lot either, as we saw in the last series. And I think OSU is very, very certain of that now. I hate to have to say that, but I think they are very much aware now of what needs to be done to close out this series. As Buddy gets a goal there for Northwood. Northwood is no slouch, so OSU really needs to, keep their foot on the gas pedal to have a chance to bring this series home.
Absolutely, and there's exactly the point right there, right? Perhaps a little bit more wide open in front of the net. is eventually going to mean that a Northwood player is just going to be able to capitalize off of that, able to hit one off the backboard and take care of business. And now they're starting to pick up this pace even more as Pirates is going to grab a demo onto Shiro to try to maintain possession of this ball, to try to maintain their ability to put shots towards this net, try to force the Beanz to score him a little bit more, as you already start to see that. Maston and Sleppy going to have to double commit to try to clear this one out, and it's just going to mean that the Timberwolves are going to have this one again. Shiro goes up in the air, double commit is going to get sent away by Master, and so we do have a little bit of a lull here, perhaps, where these teams are going to be running around the ball a little, but again, it's going to be about trying to capitalize on these things and trying to force mistakes in your opponent, especially with these passing plays. Pirates can't quite seem to reach the ball to put that one away, but a very promising attempt, and we're going to start seeing more and more of those. This Northwood roster starts getting more and more revved up in this set.
It's interesting as Hockey puts one away there. Northwood looks much more confident in this game too, despite having lost game 1 3-0. No mistakes so far. They have 6 shots, 2 goals to show for it. And they've only had to make 1 save so far, to go along with 3 demos as I read the entire scoreboard there. I think that OSU really needs to do some damage control here. One thing you don't want to do is let Northwood just completely run the table with this game, as that team pressure graphic comes up to prove my point. 87% team pressure for Northwood. You just can't let them take control of this entire series.
And that's the thing. Right after you got that game 1 with the new opponent, then it starts to sit in. Now Northwood's starting to get a little bit more into their comfort zone as you start to see them going for more passing plays. Now off the backboard, but he can't quite seem to find the connection there to put that one in the back of the red net. But now we'll see if there's an answer from the Beanz. They've been very quiet so far this game, less active on the offensive side of the pitch, as we've already made a comment on here. And right now, they're scrambling just to try to get this ball and dig it out of their own corner. Unfortunately, just not quite able to find the pace, not quite able to find an answer here, not quite able to find the cars in the right positions in order to get this one moving back their direction.
Yeah, very important clear there for OSU. The goalie actually was demoed on the back end of that. So a bit of a missed opportunity there for Northwood with a bit of an empty net. Like I said, Beanz really needing to do some damage control here. They can't let this game get away from them. And they can't let Northwood get all the momentum going into a game 3.
Seems like any time that a Beanz player touches the ball on the defensive side, there's immediately someone from Northwood to try to approach it, to try to interrupt, to try to disrupt whatever it is that's happening. The Beanz are trying to slow things down, but Northwood's saying, nah, not on our watch. As right now you see Pirates take another shot towards the net. Slappy is going to now earn a savior medal for that one here. Able to stay on the back line for the Beanz. Shiro going to be able to send that one away as well. But again, Northwood unrelenting as they're going for even more here. And you're starting to see the Beanz try to find some of these clears, but unfortunately without any follow-up, they're just not able to turn it into concrete possession. And now it's able to get stolen right away from the Northwood players. Buddy is going to be able to take that one away and send it back to the net in 3-0 the other direction in this game too.
Yeah, this game's a bit of a clobbering by Northwood. 11 shots, 3 goals, and I don't even want to see the team pressure graphic anymore, because it seems like OSU didn't even put the ball in their half in the last 2 minutes for more than 5 seconds. Like you said, Northwood players are there every time. They're flying around the field. They seem to have boost controls. They're going to get a 4th goal right here. This is not what OSU can let happen. Northwood is just running away with it right now.
In fairness, I think with about 1 minute and 10 seconds left, OSU is just trying to commit everything they have to try to get a goal, to try to salvage the game. But at this point, could potentially be just a little bit of an insurmountable lead, 4-0 with 55 seconds remaining. So at this point, it's got to be about the mental reset, right, for the Beanz. And that's what I said. Now we're going to be at 1-1. Now it's going to be best of the next 3 games in order to decide who is going to take this one overall. And so, a lot of good stuff happening overall, but because Northwood has increased the pace of the series, we're going to have to see if the Beanz can respond in turn and do just the same.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier with OSU, in the past struggling against this Northwood team, struggling to find wins against them, being able to essentially turn this series into a best of 3 going forward is a bit of a win for them. You know, it's in a way, now you only need to win 2 games. Obviously, that's how it works. But, you know, it's a shorter series favors them. I think, you know, Northwood is obviously running away with this game. This game does not matter anymore. Mental reset, best of 3. Who can win 2 games? I think OSU likes that they already have a game. They're not in a down 2-0 situation. They're still very much in the series. It's just time to recollect, think about strategy. What did we do right? What did we do wrong? Where can we go next game?
I will tend to say, though, in my personal observation of Rocket League series at the collegiate level, which, to be fair, is not really that extensive, okay? In fairness, I don't pay attention to Rocket League at the collegiate level all of the time. But to me, in my very uneducated opinion, it appears to me momentum tends to come in 2-game swings. So I anticipate that Northwood's probably going to win the next one. And it's going to be about what the Beans can try to do in game 4, and then hopefully in an ensuing game 5 in order to try to take this one back. Because, I mean, at this point, you got to just try to find something, right? You're out of your comfort zone right now. Of course, you just got beat by Northwood in a single game. But come on. In some respect, we all had to expect that would happen in at least one of these games, right? Northwood was going to be able to find a sweep. But then the question is, how can you bounce back? How can you find these adaptations? And can you play to their speed? Is now you already see Hawk trying to go for a double tap to kick things off here in this game 3. Not quite going to work this time around. Shiro tried to go for a solo play of his own. But again, it's not about the solo play. You got to go back to your identity. Where are the passing plays? I want to see those come out of the Beans.
Yeah, I think one of the big things the Beans need to focus on is boost control. You know, Northwood absolutely flying around in game 2. They were just about everywhere, every time they needed to be, leaving absolutely no holes for OSU. I think if OSU can do a better job controlling boost, as I say that, Pirates scores with 2 people helpless in the net, it looked like.
Yeah.
You know, we can say all these things that OSU should be doing or needs to working towards, but, you know, Northwood is just relentless, just, you know, plugging along, just forcing the issue, and Ohio State can't deal with the speed.
Absolutely. I mean, and in fairness, there a little bit of a double commit was forced by the Beans, and so it does result in a Northwood goal, and so they're going to try, the Beans are, to try to get this one back the other direction here, but it just doesn't quite seem to work, as now Hawk already going back onto the red side of the pitch, trying to make something happen alone, and just continuing to buy time for the Northwood squad, realizing that, hey, perhaps sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Able to send someone more towards that ball, and now there's nobody back there for the Beans as they were trying to be a little bit more on the offensive. Pirates over to themselves. It's going to be able to put this one away for Northwood, and they're going to go up 2-0 in this game 3.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying I was afraid of. If Northwood really ran away with game 2, was them, you know, just with this unrelenting offense that they bring. You know, they're already showing 5 shots, 2 goals. OSU hasn't even put a shot on net yet. This is what I was afraid of. You know, if they get hot, will OSU be able to come back at all, or will they even be able to get a shot on net? So far, they haven't been able to.
Haven't been able to. Again, there's just always a Northwood player there. They're playing to this speed that I think Beans might be a little unaccustomed to. I mean, they've taken a break largely for the past, you know, 2-ish months since the Level Next tournament circuit back in June. So, or was that in June? I forget. I guess it was in June. So I guess it's only been a month and not 2 months. Whatever the case is, it's been a little bit of an extended break over the summer here for the Beans. And so they might be a little bit out of practice here. And that's starting to show as Northwood's turning up the heat in this series. And they are struggling to try to find something. Shiro here going to be able to find a save, but now Hawk is up and trying to put this one away. That one's going to go off the bar there. Not quite able to find the mark. So there were a few Beans defenders back, but again, largely just the relentless storm coming in from the Timberwolves, right? It's going to be forcing these errors from the Beanz, and we're starting to see them try to be a little bit more offensive, but again, just no dice. And now someone from the Timberwolves is starting to take this back to the other side. Master's going to have to try to find a save, try to find a clear, try to buy a little bit more time for the Beanz. It just quite... It's going to stall for a little bit of time, but again, only for a matter of time until this Northwood squad tries to start sending it back the other direction.
Yeah, you can just immediately, just watching, you can see the difference in the offenses when Beanz is taking a shot. You know, they're getting a shot, and then the ball's cleared, 10 seconds later by, like, all three Northwood players who are somehow miraculously back. Whereas when Northwood's attacking, OSU is completely scrambling to even get the ball out of the net, just to make a save, let alone clear it out of their own half. It just seems like Northwood is controlling the game the way they want to control it as the team pressure graph comes up, and it shows that OSU actually has the ball on Northwood's half more, but it seems like they're just not getting the opportunities that Northwood is.
Not quite, and again, a lot of it is thanks to the quickness and the reaction time of this Northwood roster right now. Slep is going to be able to find a demo onto Buddy, and so perhaps it's going to mean that, this offensive pressure gets relieved slightly. Now they're just trying to come full on with demo. Shiro finds another one on the Pirates here. But the Beanz still scrambling, trying to get some form of the offensive side of the field together, as now we have 45 seconds remaining in this game. Otherwise, Northwood potentially going up here to match point, but he's going to put one away. What a beautiful shot there. Dropping it right into the goal and pretty much putting the dagger in this one. And it's going to be Northwood's game.
Yeah, 3-0 with 39 seconds. Not much you can do there if you're Beanz, but I just saw Buddy with 7 shots of his own, whereas OSU has had 1 shot on net as a team. Obviously something you can't have if you want to win a game of Rocket League. It seems like Beanz has just gotten outclassed in these last 2 games. They got to really find something. There was a large break there where, they were making a lot of saves, and they didn't allow a goal there for, I think it was maybe 2 minutes almost. But, they only got 1 shot in that entire period, and obviously no goal from it. So, they can be scrambling on defense, and they can be making all these great saves, but it doesn't matter if you can't put a ball in the net.
Doesn't quite matter here, and time is going to expire in the 3rd game, as the Timberwolves are going to take that one and now get themselves to match point. So, Beanz are going to have to win 2 in a row here, and based on what we've seen in the last 2 games, based on what we've seen and what Northwood is capable of, it's going to be a very tall order. But in fairness, the Beanz were able to hold them to a few less goals this time around. 5-0 last time, 3-0 this time around. We'll have to see if they can start trying to make offensive opportunities possible for their own squad as well, because we just have not quite seen that out of the Beanz to the extent that we've seen it out of the Northwood roster.
Yeah, and some things to like there from Beanz. Obviously, only 3 goals instead of 5, which is nice. But they did control which ball the half was in more often, which is something, that's a step in the right direction from the previous game. However, like you were saying, there needs to be offensive opportunities from that. And if they can't create any, then Northwood's just going to, win this series 3-1. As they immediately go right back on the offensive, right off the pipe there by Pirates. And another shot, they are just always in the right place to get these opportunities. They're giving Beanz absolutely, no rest on defense.
Hey, Beanz, that opening passing play was a play that you used to be known for. Where is your identity? Where are those passing plays? Where is the teamwork? Where is the synergy that we used to see from them? It just hasn't quite been in prevalence in this past series, and I want to see more of it if they can try to find it together, but it's just not quite clicking for them right now, as yet another Northwood player, this time Buddy, sends one towards the net as Master's trying to gain control. And you just see this time and time again. There's always a Northwood player on the ball when the ball is on the red side of the pitch. Master's going to try to pitch this one up over to Shiro, but again, there's Hockey right there. Able to send that one away and able to try to keep it in Northwood's possession. We'll see if it pays out in the long run as Master tries to interrupt that one. But again, there's no one quite around from the Beanz in order to take care of business. So, we're going to have to see exactly where this one continues to go here. Slep, wait a minute, is that game really right? Does Slep already have a savior medal? We're 90 seconds into the match and Sleppy already has a savior medal. All right, you know what? Plenty of shots going on now right now from the Timberwolves.
Yeah, plenty of shots from Northwood, but not very many from Ohio State, as has been the theme these last 2 games. And as I say that, it looks like a huge save from Buddy. Almost got there. Would have been absolutely huge for Ohio State. The Masseter is able to get one. As you were saying, 2 game swings. It's game 4. OSU now with the lead. 1-0. Northwood with 5 shots, however. Let's see if Ohio State can maybe just play ball control for 3 minutes. Get a few opportunities, but, really just focus on rotations. Maybe take this to a game 5.
We'll have to see. Of course, taking it to a game 5 is a tall order, and again, you do not want to rest.
Easier said than done.
You do not want to rest on a 1-0 lead, as Master's going to pick up another save there. And, perhaps the Beanz might have found a little bit something. That might be a spark, what Masseter just put to the back of the net. But again, only time will tell. Looks like Pirates looking for hockey there. And chat's confusing me, by the way. So Evolves in chat, who I believe is, the actual coach of the Northwood program. I actually don't know how to pronounce what he just put in chat other than hockey, but I don't know if it's hockey. I don't know if it's hockey. I could just start saying H, player H, why don't we just start doing that on broadcast instead of mispronouncing players' names all the time? Why don't we just use it by their, I guess then we'd have 2 S's for Shiro and Slappy. You know what? All right. Never mind that.
Well, if every player just made their name phonetic, it'd be easier, Just write it all in phonetics, and then we'll never have an issue.
Oh, hang on here. Beanz could be on the offensive. That one's going to go off of the post, but will they be able to find the follow-up? Master trying to put one on net. That one's going to be a double commit. Pirates barely trying to find the save, but it's not going to happen this time around. And Master is able to be the magic melon man to put the Beanz up 2-0 with 1:42 left.
Yeah. OSU with now this 2-goal lead, which is much more defendable. Obviously you can't rest on your laurels with a minute 38 in an offense like Northwood on the other end. But, a lot of good things from Beanz here. And as you were saying earlier, game 4 is really the magic game. Can OSU bring something back? Can they, after 2 huge wins by Northwood, can OSU find anything? And they really have here. They're up 2-0. Northwood's offense does not look as explosive as it has the last 2 games so far, as they look to change that. Pushing up here, has to corner it, can't find a shot on net. If this result stays and we go to a game 5, I think that's a huge win for Ohio State, just getting it to a game 5 at all. As Shiro finds goal number 3 to essentially secure this win for Beanz. A game 5 here, anything can happen, and OSU's got all the momentum right now.
Here we go again. We are strapping in for what could potentially be another game 5. That's 2 game 5s tonight. And I don't know how many times. Someone should actually run the numbers on our records versus other CRL teams. But I'm pretty sure the last time that these 2 squads played, it went to a game 5. So we'll see how this next one pans out. 30 seconds left to go here as perhaps Northwood's looking to try to get a little bit of momentum back on the board. But if the Beanz can try to hold them off here, then potentially it's a good boost heading back into this final game 5. Have to see exactly how this one continues to play out. But at this point, teams are just kind of kicking the ball around just for old time's sake, letting that clock expire as it will in just a moment. And so now we're heading to it yet again. You can't say this is a reverse sweep. You can't say that this is a sweep because both teams won, alternating teams won the first 2 games, y'all.
Yep.
So, there's no sweeps here. It's just a normal series. That's a back-and-forth series that should actually be very interesting heading into this game 5.
Um, OSU not allowing a goal in that game. You know, they've won the 2 games they've won. They haven't allowed a goal. In the 2 games they've lost, they haven't scored a goal. So whoever scores the first goal in game 5 might just win. It'll be interesting to see. The losing team has yet to score a goal in this series. So hopefully it's maybe more of a bit of a shootout, and not just another blowout game for either team. But it'll be interesting to see what each team brings in terms of adjustments for this last game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will say that in a lot of cases, it seems as though the Beans are doing a good job at capitalizing on Northwood's mistakes when they happen. And in a large part, they've only really happened in games 1 and 4. And even some of the mistakes, I mean, mistakes is kind of a generic word. To be fair, some of them have been just kind of unfortunate 50s that have happened in front of the Northwood net that haven't quite gone in their favor. And so someone's able to follow up, like we saw Shiro do in that game 4, or able to take it themselves, as we saw Master do in game 1. But at the same time, we haven't really seen a lot of, in my mind, there hasn't been a ton of the Beans creating their own opportunities. Now, we saw it a little bit more in that last game 4, but they're going to have to do it again here in this game 5. It's going to be about who can create the most opportunities for their teammates in order to put the ball away in the back of the net, because these quick passing plays are exactly, I think, the direction that CRL is eventually heading, is you're going to have to coordinate with your team. You can't just take these things alone. And already you start to see Hockey trying to take one. That was trying to go towards for a double tap, but it is going to get sent away here. So again, 4 minutes left to play here in regulation for this series. No goals on the board so far, as both these teams are trying to find their footing.
Yeah, as you were saying, Ohio State really just capitalizing off mistakes, not creating their own opportunities. I think if they are able to create their own opportunities, that's awesome. Or if they can just continue to hopefully capitalize off of mistakes or force Northwood to make mistakes. And I would argue even that in the 2 games they won, that OSU didn't really make any mistakes either, whereas in the games they were losing, they were making mistakes. So that, kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, which team is going to play the cleaner game. And I think that also shows in the fact that the losing team didn't score a goal in this entire series.
This could be a little dangerous, but the Beans look like they've gotten on the retreat. Shiro's going to be able to block that one away. But again, this could potentially mean a Northwood offensive presence. Bunny going to send one towards the net. That's going to go off the post right over Masseter's head. And Northwood's going to strike first at just past 2 minutes into the game. They're going to go up 1-0 in this game 5.
Yeah, the post not quite enough there for Beanz. Getting his own rebound, putting it back for Northwood there. I didn't catch who it was, but I believe it was Buddy. But, Northwood now can control the pace a little bit of the game. They have the lead, so they can afford to play a little more back. They don't have to be pushing as much if they don't want to. And all series, whichever team scores first, they have come away with it. So, OSU needs to find something here soon.
Absolutely does. We'll have to see if they can, as now Northwood is going back perhaps a little bit more on the offensive. Now you see Hockey coming over, able to try to cut this one off, able to try to maintain offensive possession for Northwood, but still not quite able to do anything with it. Now Buddy sending it towards the backboard. Not able to keep it on the red side of the pitch, but doesn't matter so far because that has been the name of the game so far for Northwood. As you see that one slide in, but nonetheless, again, the Beans looking to try to do something of their own. Sleppy now going up for the ball is not going to be able to find contact with it. Master potentially has an opportunity here to send it towards the net. That's going to be Hockey able to send that one away, but Shiro with the follow-up. That one's going to hit the crossbar and not quite make it in for the Beans. So close, but
yeah,
yet
super
so
close.
Far.
Yeah, but OSU finding some pressure here. Getting a lot of shots, something that we haven't seen them do all series. As you were saying, a lot of their goals coming off of things like counterattack. Huge save by Shiro there to keep Beans alive. And now a counterattack by Beanz coming potentially. Let's see if they can keep the ball down in the offensive zone. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to. But, you know, they didn't get a goal there, but they did find some offense there. They still have a minute. They only need one goal. They just need to keep the pressure on. Don't make those mistakes.
Need to keep it on, buddy. Setting it down, trying to set it up for another teammate, but that one is not going to be allowed. Shiro now trying to find something off the ceiling. That one's going to get sent away by Hockey. Now we see double demo in midfield, temporarily a 2v2. Doesn't look like it's going to benefit anyone here as the ball is going to fall largely neutral, but Buddy trying to send it over a couple of Beanz defenders. Not quite going to be able to get the ball into the net, as now we're starting to see a little bit more of this neutral play. Shiro sending a floater towards the blue net. That one also getting sent away. 30 seconds remain here, and the Beanz still have to find an answer in this game 5. Otherwise, they are going to take another loss to Northwood. But still a little bit of an opportunity here. 18 seconds left to go. Ball is on their side of the pitch. Sleppy now trying to send this one down. Is going to get picked off here. Now we're in the single. The Beanz really have to try to scramble to find something here. Shiro up in the air, trying to flip this one around. Might be trying to find a teammate, but no, with the demo there, the ball's going to go right in front of the net, and Buddy's going to be able to send it away. Sleppy's going to come around to try to keep it up, and now another demo is going to go to the favor of Northwood. This time, Massacre goes down. Ball still up in the air, being kept alive by the Beanz. We'll see if they can try to pull this one off, but now it's just gotten a little bit too far ahead of them, and Northwood's going to take the series.
Beanz able to make it interesting there at the end, applying a lot of pressure and able to keep the ball alive for quite a while there at the end. But unfortunately still falling to Northwood. But, you know, what a very interesting series, I guess is the only way I can really put it. We finished up. The losing team never scored a goal. So it's just complete domination after complete domination for the most part. Which is not something I really expected to see, but, you know.
Yeah. You know, it's... Rocket League's just weird, man. You know, it's really weird because you have these games that just go back and forth. And, like, it's not like it's a CSGO where it's, like, really easy to have, like, an ace or something happen, or, like, a team ace or something happen, right? Or Valorant or something like that. It's like, you kind of just kept... I don't know. You know, it's a weird game. But nonetheless, GG's all around to both St. Clair and Northwood, of course. Certainly some well-fought series tonight, and I am really excited to see where the rest of this summer series goes. Of course, there's still a handful of weeks left of regulation play, and I believe there are something like 12 teams in the division. So still
teams.
Plenty more matches to be played, and 2 more of those for the Beanz are going to happen tomorrow night. At 8:50, the Beanz will be playing on the College Carball stream versus Northwood Whites, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. I believe that's right. Yes, versus the other Northwood team. That'll be happening on the CCA stream. Then right after that one, the Beanz will be playing versus Akron on this stream. So if you are interested, be sure to stay tuned to the OSU BGC Twitter account. Of course, thank you to our casters, Queez earlier for the previous series, and of course, Daniel here. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Really, thank you as well. If tonight is anything to go by, some absolutely great series. Definitely tune in tomorrow night. Some great Rocket League collegiate action. Yeah. I'm glad I could be here.
Should be a good one. And of course, be sure to continue to tune in to OSU BGC again on Twitter. You see that at the bottom right corner there. Be sure to drop us a follow where you can stay tuned for all things Rocket League and, of course, other things Buckeye Gaming related. Folks, that is going to do it for us here tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning on in. We might as well send you on over to the College Carball stream because, like, there's other College Rocket League that's happening. Probably a lot more Western matches happening. But that's where we'll be heading. So thank you all so much for coming on by, and we will catch you next time. Take care, everyone, and have a good night.